And so, kind of bullish on Ripple, the software company, and still skeptic when it comes to XRP, the digital currency.
Long Bitcoin, short the banks. AMA with Anthony Pompliano. It's time to rattle the cages as Anthony Pompliano takes center stage. It's going to be a bumpy ride. Anthony Pompliano, Morgan Creek Digital.
The past few weeks alone have been bullish for crypto as a whole, bullish for Bitcoin. We've seen a price movement. We've seen China look to enter the space. And I want to get your insights on what we've seen so far.
Yeah, look, there's a big movement, I think, across the world right now that the world is waking up to Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, whether that is central bankers realizing that there are private corporations and decentralized networks that are starting to build mediums of exchange and stores of value, or it's other countries like China, et cetera, who are saying, look, this technology is going to be foundational to the future, and we want to be a leader in that space. I think this is all very, very positive for the industry in general.
And now looking ahead, because we're obviously in November of 2019, and I think throughout the years you've been an advocate for crypto, you've been an advocate for the potential of Bitcoin as a digital currency. Where do you see things going forward next year? What kind of things are you expecting to see from the industry?
Yeah, the shorter the time frame, the harder the prediction, right? I think that generally Bitcoin is headed exactly where it's supposed to, which is I fundamentally believe that Bitcoin will be the global reserve currency at some point in the future. It will take a while to get there, but we will get there. In the short term, I think we'll continue to see much of the same. You'll continue to see transactions increasing, hash rate increasing, more and more infrastructure being built, more regulatory clarity. And you'll see more and more countries jumping in to participate in some form of action in the industry. And again, it's just much more of this all back towards a bull market that I think will be bigger than we saw in 2017.
So yesterday, we spoke to Tim Draper around the same time. Now, he's obviously a Bitcoin bull as well, and he was very passionate about the industry. When we look at the price of Bitcoin going forward, we also look at the fact that China is also on this digital currency race. Where do we think is there going to be one final digital currency in the end goal? Is there going to be a few? Is it going to be a stable coin? How is it going to look?
Yeah, I think that there's going to be a binary world where, we go from 140 plus currencies in the world today to just one single one in the digital world. And then you could also throw in things like, some of these utility tokens that act more like a gift card or an arcade token, etc. They're also forms of a currency. And so it's much more likely that there are a number of different currencies. I believe that Bitcoin will be kind of the largest of those, but hold room for digitized nation-state backed currencies. There would be room for other types of cryptocurrencies, whether they're privacy focused or whatever. But I don't think that it's kind of a winner-take-all. It's probably much more a winner-take-most. But there still will be room for a couple of others to persist and be successful.
Okay, so I'm going to turn to the audience in just a second and get them to ask you some questions as well, because we've got a room full of people here. I did tweet out earlier, and we have got one person that has reached out to you from Twitter, and they have a question for you, so I'm going to read it now. And this is from @HolderHappy, and this has been in reference to your recent Off the Chain podcast with Brad Garlinghouse. Has your opinion on XRP changed?
Yeah, I figured I'd get a question about that. Look, from day one, I've said that Ripple, the software company, is pretty compelling. The idea that banks need SaaS products to better conduct business, be more efficient, move money around more easily, all of that makes sense to me. I'm probably still not sold that XRP itself is one kind of investment opportunity that a lot of people believe it is, and two, I think that there's a number of other digital currencies that can be used in that system, and so kind of bullish on Ripple, the software company, and still skeptic when it comes to XRP, the digital currency.
Now I'm going to turn to the audience and ask if anyone in the crowd has a question for Anthony Pompliano. Have we got any questions in the audience? I think everyone's still having a little think. I've actually got one for you. So, we've got one there. So would you like to go ahead? We've got a microphone for you. Someone will just bring it over.
about Libra against Bitcoin?
So what do you think about Libra against Bitcoin?
Yeah, I don't necessarily think it's a Libra versus Bitcoin or a Libra versus, the DCEP from China, etc. What I really look at is there's something I wrote maybe a couple months ago called the token density theory, which is the more viable digital currencies that are created, the better for Bitcoin. And it goes back to this restaurant problem. If there's a single restaurant on a street intersection, it gets foot traffic again. If a restaurant opens up across the street, a lot of times the foot traffic for both restaurants increase. If you had 3, 4, 5, 6 other restaurants at that street corner, it now becomes known as like the restaurant section of town. And so foot traffic continues to increase for everyone. And that's, very similar to this token density theory, which is the more viable digital currencies we have, the better. And ultimately, what it leads to is for every human on Earth to have a digital wallet. And I think that is a very big inflection point for adoption of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies moving forward.
Awesome, thank you. Do we have any other questions in the audience? Any other questions? So I've actually got one for you as well. So I recently interviewed John McAfee on YouTube, and the interview took off because he changed his price prediction. He said by 2020, Bitcoin would hit $2 million US. Otherwise, the math was flawed. You're shaking your head. Why?
I love John. John is quite a character. As many people know, I actually went and flew to go meet John on his boat, and I have nothing but respect for the guy in terms of he's living life and enjoying it. But I do not believe that Bitcoin's going to hit $2 million in 2020.
I'm sure everyone now wants to ask the question of what happened on the boat.
I interviewed him and I left.
Played it safe. Do we have any other questions in the audience?
What's his price prediction?
What is your price prediction?
Yeah, so the last price prediction I had was in August of 2018. Bitcoin's around $7,000. Said it was going to go towards 3 and then rally back over 10. It pretty much did that. It allowed us to buy Bitcoin around $3,800 at Morgan Creek and dollar cost average into a pretty nice position. And so once it broke 10, the last prediction that I had was up at $100,000 before the end of 2021. So 100K by December 31st, 2021.
Okay, wow. Now, do we have any other questions this side of the room? Yep, sir.
What's his take on Ethereum?
What's your take on Ethereum?
Yeah, I think that Ethereum has a lot of valuable use cases, right? One of the things that I'm probably more bullish on than people realize is, decentralized finance as part of this much broader theme of automated finance. So when you look at Ethereum today, it's the best platform to build that decentralized infrastructure. One of the things I'm really interested in terms of Ethereum is, will we see the same DeFi type infrastructure built around Bitcoin on the Bitcoin network, maybe Lightning, something like that? Or will we actually see things like, PBC, where they're trying to take Bitcoin, put it into a ERC20 token, and then have that participate in DeFi space? I don't know, does the infrastructure get ported over, or does Bitcoin get ported over? It feels like there's a lot of decent infrastructure on Ethereum. Then there's obviously Bitcoin as sound money, and there's going to be some collision there. How that happens, I don't think yet has been determined.
Okay, thank you. Do we have, yep. We'll get a microphone just for you over now. Microphone just over to the woman at the back. Or just shout. I'll try and translate. Go.
What else needs to be sacrificed for mass adoption? What else needs to be sacrificed for crypto to see mass adoption? We've seen privacy get thrown away. We've seen third parties come in and like they're needed. What else needs to be sacrificed?
Yeah, I would actually argue it's the exact opposite, right? I don't think that there's been sacrifices in terms of what's really driving adoption. I think adoption comes in a lot of different forms, and it's not going to be one solution that fits the entire 7+ billion people in the world. But ultimately, in terms of driving more adoption, I think the most important thing is just time, right? If you think about Bitcoin specifically, it was created 11 years ago, and in 11 years, we've penetrated about 1% of the world's population. It's pretty incredible that a non-sovereign currency that no one really understood 11 years ago has been able to do that. And so the longer that time persists, or these currencies exist, people have the ability to build infrastructure, they have the ability to familiarize themselves, learn about it, become interested, etc. So to me, the biggest thing that we need is just time. And frankly, I think that Bitcoin is right on the path that it should be in terms of reaching that kind of mass adoption or global penetration.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Anthony. It was great to have you join us virtually here in Malta. Thank you so much for your time today.